Good morning, students. So today in the second part of this video about chapter number 2, we need to go through product identification. In the last session we learned different idea fields, means how we can get the idea. But after you get the idea, there is also a need to properly transform this idea into the opportunities. So after you generate the idea, then next step is to scan the environment. Why? Because that idea may or may not be viable. So we need to scan the environment to check whether this idea is viable or not. In the last year we also did feasibility study to check the business viability. So it is related to that thing. So we need to be able to check the viability. And another thing which we need to keep in mind, so our next step is to check the viability, and then we can ultimately convert into the development of a product. So idea can be converted into a product if it is viable. And please note, developing an idea after environment scanning is actually a deliberate and strategic process. Okay, it is not a random process like spotting of an idea. Let's say randomly bhi mil sakti hai, but this step is the deliberate and strategic one to scan the environment and ensure viability of the idea. So look at this diagram. Idea can be converted into an opportunity when there is mixture of four things. Now which are these four things? Skills, competencies, knowledge and creative thinking of the businessman. Let me repeat, idea को opportunity बनाने के लिए what is needed? Skills, knowledge, competencies and creative thinking of the entrepreneur. And it will go through the process. Which is this process? These skills, knowledge, competencies and creative thinking will go through the process of careful examination, evaluation, analysis, synthesis, and then ultimately we will get opportunity, or we can confirm that this idea is viable and there is an opportunity. So if idea is viable, there is an opportunity. So I hope you are able to understand the meaning of this diagram. You can explain in your own words. So knowledge, creative thinking, competencies and skills of entrepreneur are backed by this process of examination, evaluation, analysis and synthesis. So this was explained in the diagram. Now after you have decided that this idea is viable, it means there is an opportunity. Opportunity means idea is viable. Then next step is to check for the market potentiality of this opportunity. It means whether your opportunity is having potential market or not. So there are few steps. The first step is product identification. First of all, we need to be clear as to ultimately what we are going to sell, whether it's a product or service or combination. Second thing, it should be marketed at a reasonable cost. Obviously, if cost is very high, then it is not feasible. It will not work. Then we need to think about possible product substitutes. For example, already some products are there, then you can see whether you can have some substitute for that product so that people may use your product in place of that product. You also need to take into account preferences of customers. You also need to keep in mind their suggestions or their modifications expected. And if the product is already there in the market, then you need to identify the reason why you need to introduce the new product. It's very important. I think we have learned one case study. Case study of, I think, some company, I think Nokia or some telephone company. So what they did, already Android was there in the market with its own operating system. Then another operating system was there in the market, okay, by Apple. So Apple and Android are having best application softwares for the mobile phones. So there was no need to introduce another new one. So Satya Nadella of or I think some person stopped the company from introducing the new operating system. I think it was about Nokia. Nokia actually was using its own operating system, but it did not modify it properly and it did not use Android, and that was the reason. Then second step is to see real life use and application of your product. Okay, you can also modify existing product for better use. So there has to be some value addition and real life usefulness of that particular product or service. Then you need to decide level of operation. Product decide कर लिया, okay, practically useful भी है. Now you need to decide the scale, whether you want to produce in small scale, cottage industry, or very small scale, that is home or cottage industry, or small scale or large scale. It will depend on your budget and how much risk you are willing to take. Then fourth is the cost. After you have decided the level of operation, then you should actually have the knowledge about the cost price. Only then you can decide the sale price. So pricing is important. Then you need to have analysis of demand and supply situation. It means you need to judge the level of competition in the market. And suppose if your product is technologically complex, then you need to understand whether any training is required to your employees to operate special machineries, or to your employees for giving proper after sales services. So this technical training requirements is also needs to be understood, and if there is such requirement, then you should be clear whether those requirements should be met locally or you should outsource this work. If you remember, then many mobile companies, they outsource the repairing work. Okay, there are many franchises, those who actually provide repairing services for these persons. So in Gandhidham, I think above Vodafone store, in the first floor there is one mobile repair center where most of the companies mobile are getting repaired. So companies are different, but that service center is same. Then finally, you should have estimation about the profit and net sales which you are expecting to earn annually. So these are basically the steps which you need to follow in order to see that you are able to extract that opportunity, or to judge potentiality of that opportunity. So if you are able to earn profit, it means that there is a potential of that particular opportunity. So which are the steps? First, it was idea. Idea say we decided its viability. So if idea is viable, then there is an opportunity, and after opportunity we have decided the market potentiality of opportunity. Okay, so ultimately एंड में पैसा मिलना चाहिए बस. ओके, अगर ये स्टेप 7 में आ रहा है पैसा, प्रॉफिट अच्छा हो रहा है, देन वी कैन से दैट कि अपॉर्चुनिटी इज हैविंग मार्केट पोटेंशियलिटी. Then after this, after you have, let's say, done this step, the next step is market assessment. Okay, you know about opportunity, आपको लगता भी है मार्केट में पोटेंशियल भी है, then you need to go for market assessment. obviously understanding market is very important. So which are the factors to understand the market? Demand is most important thing. Okay, so about your target market, you should conduct the study, then you can have understanding about their taste and preferences. It will help you to create the demand because your product is exactly as per the requirement of customers. So just like demand, supply is also very important. You need to keep in mind two types of supplies. First is the present supply by existing competitors, and second is future supply by the new entrants. Many times we tend to forget these future supplies. Now, suppose you are starting the business today. In economics, you must have learned that theory that when there is good profit, many new persons will come and the super profit will get reduced to the normal profit. Okay, so you also need to take into account these future supplies by possible new entrants. Then cost and price of the product should be kept properly. It should be competitively set. Cost should be in control by various methods of cost reduction or cost management. Only then you can have edge over the competitors. Then project innovation and change. Now, in today's time, the way of doing business has to change. You need to see if your existing customers are not upgrading themselves, then try to use the technology and have some advantage. I have seen that one or two these food stall owners, okay, even they are doing the business on street, but they have this system. I am talking about very few of them. Very few of them are having that tie up with Zomato. Very few of them are having this online payment system. So those who are actually doing this are getting or surely will get its advantage in long term. In big cities, they are changing rapidly because level of education is more, but comparatively here in Gandhidham we can see very few persons are changing themselves. So there is a good scope for the new entrants or those who go for the latest technology. So according to the trend, you need to change yourself, bring some innovation so that you will be able to do better in the market. The next concept which we are having is trend spotting. Identification of trend is extremely important because if you identify the trend, then accordingly you can have new product or modification in the old product. So it will help you to grow, not just to survive. And if you are not able to identify the trend, then forget about the growth. Your survival is in question. So how can entrepreneur spot trends? So for spotting trends, there are various ways. The first is reading trends. अब ये trends कैसे read कर सकते हो? Because there are so many publications, so many websites are there, many business publications are there, business magazines are there, many newspapers are there like Economic Times, okay, financial newspapers are there. So many bloggers are there, many niche bloggers are there, those who actually do analysis on a particular industry or particular sub industry. So all these things needs to be gone through so that you get information, you get data, and you will be able to understand the trend. Okay, so now another question: in today's time you get whole lot of information, there is vast information available, all the information may not be relevant, so you need to make intelligent choice as to which information is important. So here they have given one term which is RSS. It is not Rashtriya Swayam Sevak Sangh. Actually, it's a technological term. It's Rich Site Summary. It's a tool or feature, okay, through which in your browser you get updated information or automatically you can download the new data. So It is also called feed or web feed. Even let's say you have Google News. So Google News is not creating news by itself. So it is just the feeding of different sources of news. कुछ न्यूज़ इकोनॉमिक टाइम्स की है, कुछ टाइम्स ऑफ इंडिया की है, कुछ हिंदुस्तान टाइम्स की है. अलग अलग न्यूज़ को एक जगह पर कलेक्ट कर दिया गूगल ने एंड नाम दे दिया गूगल न्यूज़. सो इट्स सॉर्ट ऑफ feeding through different sources. After this we have talk trends. Now talking is very important. When you talk with people you get many new insights. Vivek Bindra ji is also having his business funnel. So many workshops, seminars are there where people actually talk and discuss a particular point or particular business idea. They get solution, they ask questions. So it's very important to participate in the events organized by industries trade association. And please note, nowadays after corona many persons are doing this offline. ऑनलाइन में बहुत खर्चा ऑफलाइन में बहुत खर्चा होता है. ऑनलाइन इज वेरी चीपर. ऑफलाइन में इफ यू विश टू अटेंड समथिंग यू नीड टू गो एट दैट प्लेस and then you need to be able to stay at that place and spend something for food. So many extra expenses are there. But when there is online workshop, then the speaker, if he is from let's say India, or he or she may be from outside India, so there is no food expenditure, there is no let's say accommodation expenditure, and it is cheaper because they are able to reach to so many people. So hence price is also lower. So try to attend many online workshops, seminars and increase your skill. You can have some networking tools. Social media can also be properly used for business networks. And there is one website, LinkedIn. LinkedIn is for working professional or for businessmen, those who want to grow their network. So social media networking sites can be joined. You can also join many WhatsApp groups or many such type of Telegram or some other applications, so that you get latest trends. So you need to pay attention not just on your product but also on the competitor's product. Okay, both things are very useful. Then next is watch trends. You can observe your marketplace, you can observe habits and preferences of consumers. So many things are possible. Okay, so we need to keep many things in mind so that we get the best possible strategy about our business. So coming back to the main point, okay, so watch trends. So we need to be able to understand the market. How we can understand the market? By studying the habits or likes and dislikes or preferences of consumers. The best way is the observation. You can visit a mall. Let me give you one practical example. Indra Nui, I think she is the CEO of PepsiCo. So what she does, she actually visits the mall and she actually feels whether she would be willing to buy Pepsi bottle or not. I mean, so many competing brands bottles are there, so she actually tries to feel, and she is also observing other customers while they actually choose the cold drink. So the best way is to watch the trends. Watch means observe. When you actually visit the point of sale, for example a mall, you can observe the trend of your consumers. Okay, so this will give you a very useful information which may not be possible to get from the theory or from the books. You can have a trade show, you can have your stall booked at some trade show, and from there also you get to know about the behavior of consumers. You get so many information. The last one is think trends. Now Dhirubhai Ambani was master in this, Mukesh Ambani is also master in this. So think trends. So Mukesh Ambani thought that this century is going to belong to data. उसको बस एक ही पता है, डेटा में ही फ्यूचर है, डेटा में ही पावर है, मुझे सबको डेटा देना है, जितना हो सके उतना सस्ते में ज़्यादा देना है, बस डेटा ही देना है. सो दिस वॉज एक्चुअली थिंकिंग ट्रेंड. उसने सभी चीज़ों को ऑब्जर्व करके एक अलग आइडिया निकाली कि इट इज़ पॉसिबल टू डू दिस. सो थिंकिंग ट्रेंड्स, these are the people, those who have vision. Narayan Murthy and all those persons actually thought that India is having many software professionals and there is a good scope for software exporting. So hence they started IT companies, and result we know, India is the leader in IT services. So think trends. Businessman can use his or her ability of thinking, analyzing, and whatever knowledge and sixth sense or some intuition he is having, he can think about what could be the future, and this is very important. So through this way also you can have information about the trends. So friends, chapter is almost over. Just 2 pages are remaining that I will discuss in the next session. Okay, so be happy, try to go through the concepts properly. Even if you understand the basics, then it's very easy. Okay, bye bye.